Amid the ruins of apocalypse, only a handful of survivors remained. Three stoneworker families, their lives intertwined by fate, joined with five solitary wanderers, went on a desperate quest for shelter required to survive. It was a challenging, uncertain journey across the stretch of rocky, dry land. They fought to survive the scorching sun and the unrelenting thirst. After quite a bit of wandering, their journey led them to something mysterious. A small bulging structure was popping out of the earth. They couldn't hold their curiosity and went on closer to the bulge to explore it. On exposing it by removing the surrounding earth, a ruined structure, a monument to a forgotten age, was found. This structure seemed to be huge but was damaged due to the earthquake. On entering a part of it, they were surrounded by a forest of vertically linear elements of stone, which was surmounted by bulbous spherical volumes at some places. It was a sign, a glimmer of hope in the world of darkness. So they decided to settle there in the cliff shade where the semi-ruined structure stood. But it was far from perfect shelter, as most of the bulbous volumes that once shielded them from the sun left them exposed to the burning rays as they were broken. They knew they needed a better refuge, a place where they could thrive and not just survive. Somehow the central bulbous volume, more significant than others, was partly intact and they managed to spend a couple of days under it. While exploring, they found a space underground in one of the parts. The space had different historic engravings on the walls around it. The curious explorer jumped down the space and tried to decode whatever was engraved. He saw something like a treasure map, but was not sure if it was really a treasure map. But they hoped to find something precious in the end. Fortunately, the stoneworkers possessed skills passed down through generations that allowed them to start the hunt for the treasure. They kept digging, expecting some treasure to be at the end. Meanwhile, they also realized that the underground was much cooler as compared to the above, and hence decided to burrow beneath to avoid the scorching heat. On digging some parts, they found buried remains, which might be of some great warrior of the past, they assumed. Keeping it safely aside to store it and divinity as a memory, they continued digging. They collected all the remains they found because some of them were also useful in making tools. Initially, they dug out paths to connect the underworld to the outside. They carved out a labyrinth of narrow passages, leaving thick supports and hidden chambers, creating a world of their own beneath the ruins. Slowly, their dwelling started coming to the scene. Suddenly, nothing was underneath while digging a part of the lower lull. It seemed something like a deep hole, a very deep hole. The entire curious crowd gathered around to see what it was. Everyone was so confused about what could be in there at such a depth. Was it the treasure that they saw in the treasure map? Or it could also be a trap? Or a tunnel way to teleport them into a different universe? Who knows? The older man came in front and dropped a piece of stone in it. He heard carefully to the sound that came in response to the stone. The smile on his face was invaluable. He listened to the splashing of stone and water. It was like a miracle. It was not literally a treasure, but the most needed resource during that situation. Yes, they found water, resource to sustain their life. It was a secret that they kept close to their heart, for they knew that in this harsh world, every drop was a matter of life or death. They guarded their secret closely, allowing only a few to venture into the underground. The center was left open right under the hemisphere. It was a shared space, a courtyard space. Soon, with the requirement of cleansing themselves, they developed a system to get the water upwards. Near the water source came up a bathing space. It was a space to savor their secret while keeping it hidden. Their life revolved around it. They cooked together and had meals together. Children played there in the center and also learned the art of stone carving from the wise old man who taught them life lessons also. They spent most of the day in the underground and slept during the noon to avoid the peak sunny hours. Some of them sculpted a variety of things out of stone needed for trading. They hardly ventured outside but braved the marketplace in the evening to gather the resources by trading. While some used the dugout material as a plaster to mend the broken structure and add a layer against the heat. The cubicles provided them with the privacy they needed at times, while on the other end, The center, a place they revered, kept them attached together. They used their skills to carve out an underground world where they had a bit of the light and the darkness they wanted. Their eyes yearned for a bit of light and sky. The apertures provided them with their piece of sky. Theirs was a world apart, cut off from the blinding sun that beat down on the wasteland above. But even in the depths of earth, life went on. They built a community around it that thrived in the shadows. The chamber of remains kept filling, and the sound of digging continued. As the digging continued, for the community was to still grow and expand.